China is home to some of the oldest restaurants to ever exist, like this dumpling shop, once visited by the emperor, a restaurant that's been making Peking duck since the 1400s, and even a place that's been serving food since 1153. This is crazy to me because the average restaurant only stays open for like 6 years, yet people have been eating at these spots for centuries. So in this video, I'm traveling throughout China and eating at 3 of the country's oldest restaurants in order to find out how they've managed to stay alive. Alrighty y'all, I've officially made it to Beijing, China, and the restaurant behind me has been around since 1738, specializing in something Americans are actually quite familiar with. Welcome to Duoyi Chu, a legendary establishment located in the heart of Beijing's Chenmen area that's been perfecting dumplings for over 250 years. Look, I love dumplings just as much as the next guy, but the thing is, you can literally find dumplings anywhere in China. And because this place has been around for so long, I am very curious what makes theirs so special. Let's go find out. All right, y'all, the inside of this place looks nothing like I expected. Low-key, feels like I transported back in time. After escaping the busy outdoor shopping street, stepping inside puts you in a room that kind of feels like China's version of a chaotic local diner. The walls are covered in signs and plaques with writing on them that I couldn't read to save my life. It's loud, lively, and I was very excited to eat. Okay everybody, I just got seated, and before I go over the menu, since there is so much history to tell at all of the restaurants I'll be visiting in this video, in order to not mess it up, I'd like to introduce everybody to Jane.
Hi.
A few quick fun facts about Jane. She lives in Shanghai, loves animals, is a huge foodie, and most importantly, speaks Chinese. Oh, and she'll also be my guide to basically all things China. All right, Jane, this is where I'm gonna need some help. What makes the dumplings here special?
Okay, so the really cool thing about Duoyi Chu snacks are that they are made fresh every day. It's not the typical dumplings that you would see. It's called shao mai. So instead of wrapping it, all enclosed, all the meat and the condiments goes inside with the open wrap. Pretty like a little flower.
I've had this at dim sum. I know what this is. Now, according to the menu, it seems like they do have a bunch of different flavors of shao mai, all ranging with unique fillings. But the thing is, I want to keep things as traditional as possible. Jane, which one would that be on the menu?
It would be the traditional Sanxian shao mai.
Got it. What exactly is that?
Sanxian means the 3 fresh, translated directly, which includes type of meat, a type of veggie, and 1 type of seafood.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Here's the menu. I'm not confident in ordering, so Jane will be assisting with that in a majority, if not all of this video.
We'll grab everything. Just kidding.
We placed our order, and as we waited for what I'm hoping will become the best tasting dumplings I've had in my life, Jane explained to me how the restaurant rose to fame in the first place. Apparently, the story goes a little like this. When the business first opened, it was actually just an unnamed liquor store. Fast forward to New Year's of 1752, while on his way back to Beijing, one of China's most famous rulers, Emperor Qianlong, stopped here for a meal since it was the only place that happened to be open that day. Apparently the emperor loved this place so much that a few days later, he sent them a plaque with their name, Duoyi Chu. Anyways, sent them a plaque with that name, which I believe translates to something along the lines of the only spots in the capital. Right in front of the building, there's even a statue depicting this massive day in Duoyi Chu's history, showing the original owner receiving that legendary plaque for the very first time. Ooh.
Pretty.
This looks good. Ladies and gents, the shao mai has arrived, and wow. Before we dig in, one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is even though we have shao mai in the States at some Chinese restaurants, the ones here look a bit more intricate. What's going on here?
The difference is that they do make it by hand per order. Each shao mai has exactly 24 folds in it, which gives it enough opening at the tip so that everything cooks well while the steam still stays within the little wraps.
These 24 pleats in the shao mai are also a testament to the restaurant's centuries-old dedication to a craft that most people nowadays just buy out of the frozen section of a grocery store. Anyways, that's enough yapping. Jane, are you ready to try these?
So ready, super ready.
Wait, I need to do my sauce.
Cheers.
Cheers. Those are good. I see what you mean by these are like made fresh daily. You can really taste all of the ingredients like individually. What the heck? Jane explained that the 3 fresh ingredients inside this particular set of shao mai consist of pork, shrimp, and water chestnut.
It's a type of root vegetable that gives this little crunch.
That's what that was. That makes sense. What did you think of this compared to like other shao mai like in other places?
This is definitely different in terms of how fresh it is. The texture, since it's like freshly made and freshly steamed, gives it the perfect bounciness, you could say.
Okay.
Because anything that they do on a mass produced, you'll taste the fridge.
Now another cool thing about
杜一处
yeah is that the current owner,
吴华霞
thank you, actually started working here when she was 18 as a dishwasher. Then over the years, she worked her way up mastering the technique of the shao mai and eventually became the 8th generation inheritor of this establishment. That's crazy. Most restaurants probably could survive based on that imperial recommendation alone, but I really appreciate that this place goes an extra step further by making sure their owners actually master the technique and the craft. I know that may seem like a small detail, but I promise it does not go unnoticed, especially considering how delicious these shao mai are. All right, our meal is complete, and I will be the first to say it. Those were the best dumplings I have had in my entire life. Jane, how good were they in your opinion?
Auntie is very satisfied.
There you have it, y'all. Honestly, after trying the dumplings here, I 100% understand how this restaurant has been around for so long. I hope they stay open for another 1,000 years. Now, the next restaurant we're heading to is also in Beijing, but it's a lot older and famous for potentially inventing one of the most famous dishes to ever come out of China. Ladies and gents, we have now transported back to the 15th century, and the restaurant behind us is called...
便宜坊
Thank you. I had Jane say that because I did not want to butcher the name of this place. Established all the way in 1416, Biani Fang is officially the oldest Peking duck restaurant in all of China, and obviously the world. But their real claim to fame is a century-old technique known as Menlu, a rare, ancient style of making Peking duck that almost no one else uses anymore. I absolutely love Peking duck, but the thing is, I have never even heard of this classic way of preparing it, so I'm very curious to see what the actual differences are. So, on that note, you ready to go inside?
Yes, let's do this.
Here, you can lead the way, because I don't know where we're going. As we made our way over to the front door, I couldn't help but notice that right near the entrance, there was a literal gold plaque that highlighted the restaurant's history. And it was in English. Y'all, this is so cool. I want a plaque like this in my house. After taking in as much of the rich history as I could, I followed Jane into the building's lobby area, where we were then instructed to hop in an elevator heading up to the 2nd floor. This must be a new addition, since I don't recall there being elevators in the 1400s. So we just got seated, and personally, I think this place looks amazing. Jane, what do you think about the restaurant vibes?
I was gonna say decadent, no. Beautiful!
Honestly, for me, it is so surreal being in restaurants like this with so much history, especially considering all of it is pretty much older than the US. Unlike the chaotic diner vibes at Doi Chu, eating here felt like an entirely different experience. The room opens up into a spacious banquet hall with white tablecloths, lazy Susans, and columns wrapped in a decorative gold pattern. It's a lot more elegant, quieter, and honestly, the perfect setting for a 600-year-old royal recipe. All right, let's check out this menu. Oh wow, the front page, it's the duck. So as y'all can see, right on the 2nd page, here we have the traditional braised oven roast duck for 188 RMB, which conversion is about
188 equals to 27 USD.
That's it?
Good price.
I don't know how long some of y'all have been watching my videos, but I specifically remember going to a restaurant and ordering Peking duck, and I think it was like $120. Now Jane, this does say traditional braised oven roast duck. Can you explain how this is like different compared to, I don't know, the modern way of doing it?
Okay, so the thing that they do at Bian Yi Fang is that they do have their ducks roasted in these enclosed oven. You can see they look like little rooms. So the difference is that instead of cooking them in open fire, you do retain more of the juices within an enclosed oven like this, where all the heat is circulating within the chamber itself, giving you super juicy ducks.
That was a fantastic explanation. I just ate, and I'm hungry again. Jane placed our order, and it didn't take long for them to pull that delicious duck out of the roasting chamber. But before they brought it out to us, we noticed that they were actually carving the duck for everyone to see, which honestly was an experience all on its own. Once the master duck carver was finished, ooh.
谢谢。
谢谢。
So pretty.
Y'all, the duck has arrived, and this might be one of the most beautiful displays of food I have ever seen. Wow. Now, before I have Jane explain basically what everything is, one thing I did notice is that compared to other Peking duck restaurants that cook in the modern method, we weren't given crispy duck skin to eat first.
So the other ones that you would typically have is that they would slice the skin off like sheets of papers. So you would eat the skin and dip it in sugar, kind of like candy duck skin. And for this one, they have it merged together for the traditional wrappings that we'll be doing later.
Got it. Honestly, not having the skin is kind of a bummer since that's one of my favorite parts, but it'd be rude of me not to trust the process. In front of us, we have a plate of beautifully carved Peking duck, along with other wrap ingredients like julienned cucumbers, duck sauce, and scallions. All right, Jane, I'm gonna let you try the duck first.
I get to do the honor, okay?
Yes, also because then I can watch you prepare it and make sure I'm doing it right.
All right, so for these wrappings, they have it individually prepared. How I like to do it is a little bit of scallions. Since I'm hungry, I'll do 2 pieces. My little pocket of Peking duck goodness.
Is it good?
The fattiness is perfect. The proportion, I would say, is nice because it's almost 50-50. It's not overwhelming. You don't get that burst of like fat oil in your mouth. I like it. So for some places, it gets extra fatty. Some people like it, some people don't. Personally, I like it half and a half.
Not gonna lie, Jane, you made that sound extremely good, and you are so much better at describing food than I am. It's my turn. Now please make sure I'm doing this right because I don't want to look dumb on the internet.
Don't worry, Auntie's got you.
You're not that much older than me.
And then reveal my old age.
My duck wrap has been assembled. Time to try duck from the place that pretty much invented it. Cheers.
What do you think?
That is so different from the other Peking duck I've had. I am genuinely very, very impressed that I can tell the difference between this and how other people make Peking duck. The skin is like still crispy, but it's like, I don't know if this is the right word, but it's still light.
Yeah. The lightness, yes. It's nice and crispy and airy.
Now that we've tried the wrap, I kind of want to try the duck by itself. Cheers.
Ding.
Oh yeah.
Even better when it's by itself, actually.
Well, I don't really know how to explain it, but there is this richness that coats your mouth, but not in like a bad way, in a good way.
The aroma.
Apparently, another thing they do here is that before roasting, the duck is filled with a secret herbal broth or soup stock, which ends up boiling and steaming the meat from the inside during the main cook, resulting in a softer and more tender final product. The meat itself is like so moist, juicy, tender. It's got a nice bite to it. What the heck? We are finally done eating, and I am stuffed. Jane, how you feeling?
I'm falling asleep. Major food coma.
What I find really cool about the place is that rather than changing up their ways to keep up with some of the other, even more popular and famous Peking duck places, they just went ahead and established themselves as the go-to place for the original version. And who doesn't love that? After lunch, to work off all of that delicious food we just ate, my guide Jane wanted to show me around the capital, specifically the Forbidden City. Now this might be one of the most touristy things to do in all of Beijing, but once I finally made it through the crowds, past this tunnel, and into the front courtyard. Oh my god, this is crazy! For those unaware, the Forbidden City is one of the country's most historical landmarks, built in the 1400s as the home for China's emperors. For almost 500 years, regular people weren't even allowed to step foot inside, yet here I am, spinning around in the rain, taking photos of things that I might never see again, and of course, strike a somewhat dramatic pose, since I was told it'd make things a bit more cinematic. Good morning, everyone. I am now on on the high-speed train on the way to Kaifeng, which is where China's oldest restaurant is. It's about a 2 to 3 hour ride from Beijing, so in the meantime, y'all want a train tour? Cause you're gonna get one. This is my seat, which comes with a nice extendable tray table. There's this little footrest thing with plenty of space for me to wiggle my feet, along with a few buttons so I can recline the entire thing. Here's the rest of the cabin, which was surprisingly empty for this part of the trip. And last but not least, the bathroom. I will not be using that. Now that y'all see what the vibes are, hang on, what is that in the window? It's me as a floating head, here to tell y'all about the sponsor of today's video, Nourish. For those who don't know, Nourish is by far the easiest way to meet with a registered dietitian. I'm sure everyone watching already knows that I am down to eat just about anything, anywhere, at any time. With that being said, the things I eat aren't always the healthiest or best for me, so I've been meeting with a Nourish dietitian for help in making sure that whenever I'm not filming, I'm still taking care of my body by eating the right things. They have so many different registered dietitians to speak with, and the one I'm talking to specializes in overall health along with weight management, since I have been trying for the longest time to bulk up and I have not been successful. I don't know if it's because I'm not eating the right things, not hitting the macros, but that's what I'm getting help with. 94% of Nourish patients pay $0 out of pocket since they accept hundreds of plans across all 50 states, and with the Nourish guarantee, your appointment will never cost more than the initial estimate. Your registered dietitian can also order your labs, which are free by the way. Then they'll walk you through the results so everything gets tailored to fit your specific goals. Not to mention, with their app, you can do just about anything, like track your macros, log your meals, message your registered dietitian, all that good stuff. Y'all, I highly recommend checking out Nourish. They are literally one of the most helpful brands I think I've ever worked with. And the plus side is they care a bunch about food. You can sign up using my link down in the description. And because your first appointment is always covered, you literally have nothing to lose. Ladies and gents, we have officially made it to Kaifeng, and behind us is the one and only Ma Yu Xing. This is the oldest restaurant in all of China, located in Kaifeng's Gulou area. It was established by the Ma family in 1153, which dates all the way back to the Jin dynasty, where they've been serving something called a bucket or barrel chicken ever since. Jane, please tell the viewers what bucket or barrel chicken is.
So barrel chicken, aka bucket chicken, originates in Kaifeng right here at Ma Yu Xing, where they cook the hen in whole and we serve it cold. It's not hot chicken, it's cold chicken.
Y'all, what's crazy to me is that even though chicken essentially is the backbone of Chinese American cooking, what Jane just described sounds nothing like it. I am so curious what this is gonna taste like. So without further ado, let's go eat at China's oldest restaurant. As we made our way into the building, I gotta admit, since this is the oldest restaurant in all of China, I expected it to be the most impressive looking one. But it's actually the opposite. Rather than having fancy statues out front or a grand dining room, Ma Yu Xing felt more like your local deli. Of course, they still had those beautiful golden plaques, which I now realize must be the symbol for every historic restaurant in the country. But other than that, there really wasn't much else to it. I actually find it really cool that rather than turning this place into something super extravagant, instead, they just kept it super simple, like when they first started. Jane placed our order with the nice ladies at the counter, and as we waited, the women were nice enough to explain exactly how they prepare this ancient dish. First, the chicken itself is gutted in a special way that keeps the entire thing intact. Not really sure how that's even possible, but it gets shaped kind of like a bucket, poached in a special broth, then finally chopped up before being served. All right, we are back out on the streets and the bucket chicken has been acquired. Let's unwrap this and see what it looks like. Interesting. This might sound a little stupid, but because this is called bucket chicken, for some reason in my head, I thought it would look like KFC.
No, totally different.
Yeah, newsflash, doesn't look anything like KFC. Instead of having that majestically fried golden skin that I and many others are used to, this piece of historic chicken is pretty much the exact opposite. It's pale, the skin is almost like a translucent yellow color, and it definitely was not gonna have a crunch. Now, Jane, before we dig in, can you just explain to me kind of like what I should be expecting? Because to me, the only reference point of something similar is Hainan chicken.
It's totally different. Looks like it, but no. Texture-wise, not the same. So the main difference with the barrel chicken is the texture. It does have that chewiness and the bounciness of the skin, which some people might describe it as a crisp texture to the skin, but it's not the crispiness that you would get from fried chicken like KFC, no.
It's like a nice bite. Well, another thing I'm noticing is that unlike Hainan chicken, where you'd kind of have like a garlicky fish sauce to dip it in, there is nothing paired with this. Will it be bland? Because that's what I'm worried about.
Don't worry, because it's been brine in a special soup. There's special recipe for hours before it's cooked, but everything's infused in the meat.
Okay, well, you are hyping this up, so I think it's about time we stop talking and get to eating. Cheers.
Yum.
I'm still trying to figure out the words on how to describe this, but I like it.
Right?
Like Jane said, the best way to describe the crispiness of the skin isn't that like crunchy texture that like most Americans are used to. It's the fact that there's a very, very nice, solid bite when you dig in.
I have the perfect comparison of the skin. If you ever had cold dish jellyfish,
I have had jellyfish before.
it's the same texture.
I've literally had jellyfish before. That is a great example.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Now, flavor-wise, it's not like anything super loud by all means. Instead, it just has like this like really, really deep and rich chicken-y flavor. I know that sounds dumb because it's chicken, but it's nice and salty, savory. The craziest thing out of this entire experience for me is that after trying this, I need to completely change my definition for what Chinese chicken is, because this doesn't really have much in common with the dishes in the US. But that's okay.
I want beer now.
So going into this, I had a plan to figure out how these places survived for so long. And honestly, I think it's pretty simple. See, despite each restaurant specializing in a different dish, what they shared in common is that instead of trying to keep up with the times, they all just continued perfecting what they were already known for. And in a world where everything else is constantly changing, getting to taste dishes that are truly authentic is something I don't think I'll ever forget, and I hope the world won't either.